G'day, how you going? In this video I'm going to be painting a member from the Warborn, the predecessors of the Ultramarine Legion before the reuniting with their Primarch. So for this scheme I decided to start with a standard grey primer from a spray can, no particular brand really, any will do. And on the actual armour colour I've chosen Citadel Corvus Black. With the Warborn I couldn't find any definite artwork confirming exact colours, so I chose a very dark grey to build a sort of unpainted look from. As always with basing, be sure to keep the paints thin and watered down slightly, and be sure to use an older brush, just so you can really work the paint into all those areas without fear of damaging any of your good brushes. And over the grey primer, 2 coats of the Corvus Black gave a really nice solid colour. Now that the base armour is coated, it's time to move to the black areas of the armour. So this included the rubber padding between the joints, but also these exposed armoured cables and conduits on the thighs and on the back of the legs. Whilst I had the black out, I thinned it down slightly more and used it as a kind of panel recess shade to give the armour a bit more definition. Now I used Army Painter Matte Black for this, and I would recommend leaning toward a more matte kind of black just so it helps make the panels pop a bit more. Continuing on with the cables on the legs, I used 2 thin coats bits of tin, and this was probably one of the best choices for colour on this model in my opinion, as it added a bit of age and weathering to exposed metal without steering too far away from silver. I then gave these areas of the model a wash over with Citadel's Agrax Earthshade. You can see why I painted these areas black first now, so that when it was shaded, the black recesses added to the definition. Once the shade was dry, I used AK Interactive gun metal and just slightly raised the shine on the cables. After all, bits of tin is still a more brassy looking silver, and the Agrax Earthshade wash will push it even further to brass, and I just wanted to re-establish that silver again. Back to the armour now. I wanted to lean to a dirty dark grey, and so I used a new paint in my range from AK Interactive called Smoke Black. Now this paint had a dirty black look which gave me an indication where to add later highlights and helped me mesh the clean Corvus Black with dirty browns further down the line. I wasn't overly cautious at this stage with the highlights, and if anything was too thick I just went over with the Corvus Black. However, I still wanted to keep some amount of that highlight visible to help with blending the lighter tones later. So I just went around all the edges of the armour where possible, but not wasting time on the areas that were going to be a different colour anyway. From there I started building those lighter tones, but still really trying to stay close to grey as much as possible. So for this next colour I used AK Interactive Dark Grey, but I did limit this to mainly the raised edges of the armour mostly. And here I did try to stay as consistent as possible with the Smoke Black, but slightly thinner so as to not obscure the previous highlight altogether. And here on the legs is a perfect example of what I mean by not obscuring that Smoke Black highlight, as it helps ease the shift from the Corvus Black into the lighter tones. At this stage, some areas will certainly be more easier than others. Just do your best and hold the model comfortably, and always remember you can clean up before moving on. Now this highlight will be the helping tipping point that gives this Warborn paint job a more worn look without really weathering the armour, and that would be Citadel's Storm Vermin fur. But it was used sparingly. You don't want to give the impression of brown armour, so keep it to small amounts restricted to extreme edges. With this level of edge highlighting, you will need to maintain full control of the paint on your brush at all times, so don't put as much on and try not to water it down as much as you often would. Onto the metallics now. The image I came across frequently showed them having a very weathered dark silver. So to start off with, I used 2 thin coats Doom metal and applied it all over the trim and various areas on the backpack. Again, another winner with colour choice. It matched what I was picturing and the application was so easy and smooth. It was just a dream to work with. Honestly, you could skip the weathering effect if you want and leave it here. I think it looks pretty good either way. But if you wanted to add a little grime to the silver, I used Citadel's Contrast Skeleton Horde and very subtly applied it to all the silver, guiding it toward the more shaded areas. Skeleton Horde is a very strong paint, especially over silver, so don't overdo it your first coat. Remember to always add gradually. Here I'm using 2 thin coats Cert Silver to brighten the trim back up again, but I'm confining it to just the extreme edges of any of the trim and also using it to highlight all the bolts or rivets I see around the armour panels. This did also help bring the trim back to a silver, as the contrast paint does leave a heavy tint. Now this here was a game changer for me. The blue on the Warborn wasn't your standard ultramarine blue that you see today, so I opted to layer a base coat of Abyss Blue from 2 thin coats. Once the Abyss Blue was applied, I really started to see the ultramarine predecessor come out. There were no distinct directions as to where the blue actually was on the Warborn, so I improvised and mainly just picked areas that I felt Could be areas to determine squad number or chapter number and so forth. A couple of thin coats later and I moved to shading the blue, and for this I used AK Interactive's Strong Dark Blue. Using a usual glazing method, I watered the paint down heavily, then used very little on the brush to establish the more shaded worn areas of the blue. Remember when using this method of glazing to always end your brush stroke in the more desired darker areas of the model. Then I used 2 thin coats marine blue for the upper areas of the model, but was very light with my application because the abyss blue was the desired colour. I wanted to keep the bolter extremely simple for the Warborn, so I used AK Interactive's oily steel and applied 2 thin coats over all their metal areas of the bolter, and rusty gold for the bolt shells in the magazine. I then gave both areas a quick wash with the Nuln oil from Citadel. To give the metal a little more depth, I ran some straight Basilicanum grey contrast paint into the recess areas of the silver. For the casing, you can use whatever colour you like, but as I said, I was keeping mine pretty plain, so I used good old Abaddon black. The lenses were prepped with a line of ivory tusk from 2 thin coats, and while waiting to dry, I moved on to highlighting the bolter casing. And for this, I ran a thin line of Citadel Dark Reaper along all the prominent edges of the black. Once that was done, I pushed the highlight further with Citadel Thunderhawk Blue. Returning to the lenses, I started with Flesh Terror Red contrast paint from Citadel and coated all over the lens, making sure to pool slightly in the corners. I then applied a thin layer of pure white. Then once that was dry, I coated over with an old glaze paint from Citadel called Bloodletter. And there you have it, a member of the Emperor's own Warborn, soon to be the Ultramarine Legion. This was a literal first for me, and having the Mark II Marines available, I couldn't resist giving it a go and seeing how they may have looked on the field long before their Primarch made his mark. But thank you if you made it this far. I know it was a long one of a grey model, but hey, I think the colour scheme looks great and speaks volumes on just how different they once were. But please let me know your thoughts on them below in the comments. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks.